I understand you want the civil service to be an attractive place to work, but it's also going to be a realistic place to work.
Sure.
It's also going to be a fair place to work because it is taxpayers' money that is funding it. And many people working in the private sector will be looking at this and just thinking this is not fair nor sustainable. To look at the issue of hybrid working, I noticed that on your website you say that that it's let me quote exactly, as part of our current hybrid working policy, staff members in roles which are suitable for hybrid working have the opportunity to, and I quote, informally deliver work from home. So what is the Scottish Government's formal policy on working from home?
The formal policy is that from October we have a strong expectation.
Well, what is it presently now?
At the moment, I think, I don't have the word in front of me, Leslie can help, I think it's something along the lines of, I think, an expectation of 1 day a week in the office.
So when it says here that you've got the right to, or an opportunity to informally deliver work from home, I'm not entirely sure what that means. Could you recall all civil servants back in 5 days a week presently under their present employment contracts?
Yes, we could, yes.
Conditions
haven't changed,
okay.
No.
So why, I suppose, are you being so generous in your approach at the moment, when I think people out there in the real world are thinking this is not sustainable? Yeah,
look, I understand that perspective. What we're trying to do is to try and lead this change in an effective way. You've seen some of the evidence, some of it's reported in the papers this morning, of some people's reaction to that in the organisation and some of the anxieties that suggests. So I think that confirms me in our view that we need to proceed gradually, but with determination.
But what does it tell you, Mr Giffin, about the culture in the civil service, where people are saying it's an infringement of their human rights to ask them to go to work?
Well, I don't think that's the. I mean, it's hard to know what is sort of, if you like, the majority view. What's the dominant culture? What we've seen in the papers this morning are certain individuals who have expressed a personal view about it. I know I've had a number of colleagues, and others around this panel will as well have colleagues say to them how pleased they are with the change in policy, how positive that's going to be, and I'm confident that we'll get to a place in October where that is warmly received and that we can move forward from there. But I think in any organisation, I think you need a good understanding of the culture in which change is landing in order to be able to lead that out in an effective way, a kind way, but ultimately determination to do the right thing.
And just 2 points of clarification in respect to that policy. Should it be that civil servants are paid for their travelling time to work? Would you countenance that?
No.
Okay. And also in respect of that, if somebody refuses to come to work, are you then saying there would be disciplinary action taken against them?
No, we're not on a simple refusal to come to the office. On that sort of isolated matter, it might well be that if you're in that situation, despite all the management conversations, in spite of the process that we're putting around it, it would depend a bit if there were other aspects in play, or how the posture of that individual was, the language they were using, and so on. But there isn't a sort of a narrow trigger for somebody refusing to come into the office that would lead to disciplinary measures in and of itself. Okay.